I just saw the newest episode, and after the episode we had last week, which was full of emotion, just actually got me crying, honestly. This episode is back to your typical rezero, so to say, getting into the mystery, the plotting, and everybody has an agenda and so on, which I'm happy to see, but last week's episode is gonna remain with me for quite a while. Probably gonna remember it forever. Because like I said in my last video, it hit very close to home. Now, let's see what exactly happened in this week's episode, and let's talk about it a bit. So, you guys remember right at the end scene of last week's episode, we see Echidna in school. Now, this week's episode starts right there, and my first question is to you guys: who's ready to go back to school? I sure am. Echidna, here I come. Already have my backpack opened, packed everything. I'm gonna be your colleague or student, we'll see. Anyway, let's get a bit into more serious stuff. Now, you can see that Subaru's starting to remember a bit, but I also see the reason why Echidna messed with his memory was because she didn't trust him being able to keep a secret. So she messed with his memories. That's why he didn't remember their previous conversation. Now, there was also a fun interaction between the two of them right at the beginning when Echidna told them she witnessed everything and started teasing him about it, the way he got emotion. You gotta love their interactions, they keep getting better and better. Now, there's also a bit of friction, so to say, between them. When Echidna started going a bit too personal, started teasing him about his parents and so on, messing with him since they weren't real. But you can tell Subaru took a lot out of that trial. He actually managed to finally say what he wanted to say to his parents, even though they weren't real. It was a huge load off his chest, being able to say that, have that conversation. It helped him quite a lot, and he got a bit visibly upset with Echidna when she started teasing him about it, started messing with him a bit more. Now, we see that his plan also is to still have Emilia do the trials, so he wants for her to complete it to free the people. And he actually promised Echidna that somebody else would be the one who completes the trial. I don't know how true that is gonna be, seeing how things are going for Emilia since she started taking the trial. We see her coming back right now from it. She's very visibly emotional, traumatized, even I can say that. Very scared, troubled, lost her composure in her own words. You can see that what she saw there in her past hit her very hard. She even asked her father for help. I don't know, something very bad or major happened in her past to get her so emotionally devastated. That's the best term I can describe how she was. But we also see that there's more to this sanctuary than meets the eye, like I had in my previous videos. And a lot of the people seem to be plotting something, especially Roswell, but we'll get to that in a second. Also meet a new character now, Ryuzu Bilma, the lolly girl that we saw in previous episodes when they reached the sanctuary. We found out that she's a representative of the community, like a village elder or something. She's also very old, it seems. I don't know what exactly she wants besides freeing the sanctuary, who she is, what's her agenda. I don't know, she seems very interesting. And I kind of like her demeanor, so to say, the way she's acting. Nothing really phases her so far. But I'm curious. I need to know more about her before we can actually properly talk. There's also an interesting tidbit about the sanctuary. Since we have Garfield and Ryuzu, they seem to be working together. I think since Ryuzu is the leader. But there's also another faction that doesn't want the sanctuary to be freed, saying that it would cause problem for them to have interactions with the people outside. Now, we don't know who exactly is in that faction or why they don't want the sanctuary to be freed. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna try something. Subaru also got some warnings from Ram, saying he should be prepared to protect Emilia since everybody could attack him and so on. I don't know why they wouldn't want the sanctuary to be freed. Are there some dangerous people inside? Something happened between them? Is it somebody who has just random issues with it? No, more and more questions as it's starting to become a theme with rezero. Now, getting to Roswell, our mysterious guy who's never there. We also get more info about him, and we find out he's the one who's responsible for a lot of stuff. He even admitted to be the one who set everything in motion, the witch cult attacking and so on, just to promote Emilia in the election, and that's why he wasn't present there, because he didn't want to be the one to confront the witch's cult. We don't get the reason why, but that's very interesting and also highly suspicious. Why wouldn't you want to confront the witch? We still don't know what exactly he wants or who he even is. I don't know what's up with this guy. He just does very suspicious stuff. Now, he still had faith in Subaru being able to do all of this, but the way he put everything into motion, very, very underhanded and villainous type, so to say. Even consider Subaru his partner in crime. I don't know, I really wish I knew what this guy actually wants. And like we saw previous episodes, he has a very tight connection to Echidna, the way he reacted when somebody called her the Witch of Greed instead of her name. So there's a lot more to him. I don't know if he's gonna be on Subaru's side, is he on the Witch's Cult side? So many questions about this guy. What is he actually helping Emilia? I don't know, every time I think about Roswell, I see him plotting and having more questions about him. Now, we also see that Emilia took the trial a second time, but she still wasn't able to complete it. I honestly don't think she's gonna be the one to free the sanctuary, seeing how things are going. And since Subaru completed the first trial, I'm gonna assume he's still gonna be the one to complete all the trials, because, well, granted, he's the main character, but since he was able to finish the first trial, the second and third trial, yes, there are 3 trials, I think he would be able to do them. Maybe not in his first life, so to say. We'll get to that a bit later on. But Emilia's too traumatized about what's happening with her when she takes the trial, especially since something very badly happened in her past. We still don't know what. But like I said, she mentioned her father asking for his help. But also more suspicious things are happening. Somebody else is also plotting besides the faction that doesn't want the sanctuary to get freed. We see that Frederica also has a plan, and her and Garfield are Garfield. I keep thinking about Garfield when I see Garfield. The name, I bet everybody's having the same issue, or might just be me. I don't know. Now, they don't really get along. Garfield even admitted they don't get along very well. But she's also plotting something. We don't know exactly what, but there's more to it there. Now, also see that Garfield also figured out that Subaru was the one who passed the trial, and he doesn't want to see Emilia suffering. He also gave Subaru some very good food for thought, so to say. Does Emilia really want to confront her past, like relive all of that or get over it? And Subaru actually paused for a moment there, thinking about it. And this is another reason why I don't think Emilia is gonna be the one who's gonna complete the trials. I still think Subaru is gonna be the one, but I'm also very curious what she actually saw in her past trial, so to say. And also tells a lot more about Garfield, or Garfield in this case. His the way his rough appearance and just direct approach to stuff. He seems more a lot smarter than he actually appears to be. So don't judge books by their cover. He's very intuitive and perceptive, it seems, Garfield. I got more curious about him now. Now, We also see that Subaru manages to convince him to release the villagers, since Emilia's in the barrier, and Subaru has to come back also. I'll tag that in a bit. Another information about the barrier which I forgot to mention is when somebody with half-blood touches it, you don't just lose consciousness, it actually separates your body from your soul. Otto actually had an idea for the normal people, quotation marks, to carry the half-blood people out since they pass out. But Ryuzo explained that you just get completely cut off from your soul. You're just gonna be a shell, basically dead. So no shortcuts, no breaking the rules and so on. Somebody actually has to complete the trials. If they're gonna be able, we'll see, or what the actual faction is that doesn't want the sanctuary free. Are they gonna succeed, or do they have any other reasons besides just not causing troubles with the outside world? I don't know. But also had a very heated moment between Roswell and Subaru when we find out that Roswell was responsible for a bunch of bad shit, so to say. Subaru actually wanted to punch him, but he got stopped by Ram, who seems to be very, very, very loyal to Roswell, up to a fault actually. Not being bothered by being left behind and so on. She seems to take everything that Roswell does as gospel, so to say. That gives me a bit pause about Ram. She's too accepting of Roswell's shenanigans. Also gives a lot more questions about Roswell, honestly. So, we also see that Subaru got a message from Roswell after their fight through Ram, that when Subaru has to go back to the mansion to actually confront Frederica and see what she wants or what her plan is, that if he's scared, he should go talk to Beatrice and tell her that Roswell said to ask the question. Now, we don't know what the question is, but Roswell said that everything's gonna change when Beatrice hears this. What exactly is gonna change, what's gonna happen, we don't know, but maybe we'll get more backstory about Beatrice, who she is, what's her purpose, what does she want, and I also need more interaction between her and Subaru. I love their moments, the way they tease each other back and forth, and the way she speaks actually got to me, so to say. I like her quite a lot. Oh, we see that Garfield also gave Subaru one of those crystals and said to show it to Frederica if things get worse. Now, overall, this episode put a lot of things into perspective, so to say, especially with Emilia and her backstory. Also, she started opening up to Subaru more. We see her reaching out to him for comfort, even though she denied it later on, and she gets more and more comfortable around him. That's very nice to see. She finally is breaking down her walls around Subaru. She doesn't admit it yet, but slowly and surely they'll get to a better place. Now, the biggest thing this episode is that we're actually back to seeing Subaru die in a very horrible fashion, it seems. We're back on track, so to say, on the depression train, ready to live, die, and repeat. Guess who's back? Elsa, our favorite disemboweler in this case. She's back in the mansion when Subaru goes back to the mansion right at the end of the episode. Everything's empty again, same as before. He tries to rush over to see if Rem is okay, but before he can reach her room, he slips down in blood, which you find out it's actually his blood, and you can see his guts all over the floor. And standing over him is Elsa, saying she's back to keep their promise with him taking care of his bowels. Now, we don't know what she wants, why she's back there, just revenge, or is there something more to it? But I'm glad to see that Subaru is dying again, so to say. Well, I'm not actually glad, but I'm glad to see we're getting back to redoing stuff, because this is what got rezero popular with his return by death, or also more and more and more and more and more questions with each episode. But back to form, overall a very nice episode. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about it. Last week's episode was very emotional, at least for me. This week's episode had more action, so to say. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Very excited to see next week's episode. So, let me know what you guys thought about it, and I'll see you again on the next video. Bye bye, have a good one.